Social outcomes of democracy. In this module, you will evaluate the social outcomes of democracy. What are the social outcomes of democracy which make it a preferred form of government than others? Look at the world map and see how many democracies are there in the world today. You must have noticed that there is a coexistence of diverse races and social backgrounds in democracies, something which is missing in the countries under dictatorship. This is what sets democracy apart from other forms of government. The first important social outcome of democracy is the accommodation of diversity. Through this outcome, we can expect democracies to create a harmonious social life. How do democracies accommodate diversity? A democracy has well-established procedures to reconcile differences among different groups. It gives every community the right to vote and contest elections besides fundamental rights. It promotes healthy competition among them through elections and prevents the possibility of tensions and conflicts swelling into violence. While no society can resolve conflicts permanently, in democracy we learn to respect differences and negotiate them. Therefore, democracy is best suited to produce the outcome of the accommodation of diversity. In democracy, laws get passed through majority support. But if democracy is rule of the majority, what happens to the minority? While democracy may appear to be the rule of majority at first glance, it has to work with the minority too. Only then can it legitimately claim to represent the overall view. In democracy, it is important to make sure that the rule by the majority does not become the rule by the majority community in terms of religion, race, or linguistic group. It means that in democracy, every citizen must get a chance to be in majority at some point of time. There should be no single local elite who is able to dominate the community's decision-making. Only then can democracy remain democracy and accommodate diversity. The second social outcome of democracy is dignity and freedom of the individual. Every individual wants to be treated with respect. Conflicts arise when certain individuals feel they are not treated with respect. The zeal for respect and freedom forms the basis of democracy. This has been achieved to varying degrees in various democracies. Let us see how. If we were to take the instance of gender equality, we can see that the democratic system promotes women's movement for freedom and equality by providing all constitutional and legal help. But this does not necessarily mean that women are treated with respect in reality and enjoy complete freedom. However, once the principle of dignity and freedom of the individual is recognized, it becomes easier for women to wage a struggle for achieving that. They can demand their government to take measures and implement the same. Thus, the democratic system ensures a legal basis for women's participation. The same is true in case of caste and race inequality. Democracy has reinforced the claims of the disadvantaged and discriminated castes and races for equal status and equal opportunity. This is why democracy is much superior to other forms of government in promoting the social outcome of dignity and freedom of the individual. While we can expect democracy to have the social outcomes of accommodation of diversity and dignity of freedom of an individual, it may not be able to establish these outcomes on its own. It only creates the conditions for its citizens to work towards achieving them. Let's recap. The first important social outcome of democracy is accommodation of diversity. Democracies have well-established procedures to reconcile differences among different groups, which prevent the possibility of violence and accommodation of diversity. Democracies work when they function taking along the views of both the majority and minority in order to represent the overall view of the society. The second social outcome of democracy is the dignity and freedom of an individual. Democracy provides a legal basis to reaffirm the claims of the disadvantaged and discriminated and gives them equal status and opportunity.